Why do Italians break all the rules? That's a question I had not too long ago when I was doing a presentation about longevity and lifestyle of the longest living people. And before I even practically got started, someone raised his hand and said, I have a question. And I said, okay, shoot, what's your question? And he said, Italians break all the rules and they still live long and they seem happy and I don't understand it. And I said, well, asked again, what rules are you talking about that they're breaking? And he said, well, first of all, they eat dinner so late, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, sometimes 10 o'clock, that's really not advised at all. I mean, we never do that here in the United States. The second thing he said is they don't eat breakfast. Italians don't have that breakfast of champions. They don't have cereal and oatmeal and eggs and all of these things that we're told, we should start our day with a good breakfast. Then they drink too much coffee. I see Italians drinking coffee all the time, all day long, drinking coffee. I don't understand this. I thought caffeine was bad for you. And then the last thing he said was, and they never work out. I work out every day. I go to the gym, not me personally, but this is what he said. And Italians never work out. So let me address those things because the rules don't apply to everyone across the country, across the globe. And if we break the rules in the United States and if we incorporated some of the things Italians do, we might even feel a little bit better. So let me take the first one. They eat dinner too late. Well, that fits with their lifestyle. Italians, at least in the south of Italy, own their own businesses. There aren't big corporations where people go to and either get online in the morning first thing or go to an office and spend 7, 8, and 9 hours there. And they don't start early in the morning. So the late dinner fits with the lifestyle because they have their own companies, their own businesses, which they open at 8 o'clock. They stay open until 12 o'clock, 12:30, depends, it's a little bit flexible. And then the business closes and they go home and they spend the afternoon at home. And then they open up, they have a lunch. They have their biggest meal is at lunchtime. They have their lunch, they rest a little bit, and then they reopen their business at 5 o'clock or 5:30 until about 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night. Then they go out for dinner. So then they're going to have their dinner because they already had their largest meal at lunchtime, and they take the whole family and everyone goes and they have something light. They'll have something with a small portion of fish, some vegetables, whatever else they're going to eat. And then they go home and yes, it's late. So they go home, they go to bed, they go to sleep, they get up the next morning, and they're not going to have breakfast because they're still digesting the food that they ate for dinner. So what they have is a cup of coffee, a cappuccino, a cafe latte, or an espresso, and maybe a little biscotti in the morning. But they do not need the big breakfast because, as I mentioned, they're still digesting from the night before. So their breakfast is very, very light. But the coffee is a culture. Coffee culture in Italy is a whole way part of how they're living. Someone will have a coffee in the morning before they leave the house. They might have 2 or 3 more coffees on the way to work, but coffee is not a 16-ounce cup of coffee that is loaded with milk and flavorings and whipped cream and all the other things that we see people walking around with in the United States. Coffee is 2 ounces. It's a 2-ounce cup, a small cup of espresso. Most don't put sugar, some of them do put sugar, but the coffee culture goes on all day long. They'll stop in at the bar, and a bar is not a place to go and have an alcoholic drink. A bar is a coffee bar because they see their friends there. They probably know the owner. They'll stop in, they don't sit down, they'll have their coffee at the counter and go back for their day. So there's social networking all day long with the people that they know and the people they enjoy visiting with. It's really quite lovely. And maybe by the end of the day they will have, 6 or 7 coffees, but that would be, like that'd be 12 ounces of coffee throughout the whole day. And then lastly, they don't work out. No, they don't work out. The gyms are catching on with some of the younger people, but you will not find adults that go to the gym every day, that take time out from what they're doing, change their clothes, go to the gym for an hour to work out, because their daily life is a workout. If you've spent any time in Italy, you know that there's a lot of walking. You can't see Italy from a taxi or a car, really. You need to walk. And daily life in Italy, even in the small towns or the larger towns, requires walking. Probably an average of 4 to 5 miles a day. And it's not walking on a flat surface. It's going up cobblestone streets. It's going up little hills, sometimes large hills, lots of steps. Italy is a country that's very mountainous, very rocky, and they're not going to start destroying mountains to flatten out the geography. So there's a lot of, what would we say, forced stairmaster in the day of a life of an Italian-born person living in Italy. So even though all of these are true, and they may break our records, our rules rather, they don't have any rules. This culture has been passed down over centuries and over generations, and it works for them. And they always come up very long on longevity. They're always the first or second developed country in the world that lives the longest. So I hope that helps anyone else out there that's been puzzled about these things. And to my subscribers, thank you for stopping by. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so I can continue to send you good information about longevity, olive oil, travel, and all those wonderful things. Thanks again.